Through generous community support, we've connected warriors and their families with no-cost physical and mental health services, legislative advocacy, career assistance, and life skill training for 20 years. And we're just getting started.
Here are some of the headlines we are featuring today from your favorite news outlets at offthepress.com. The budget wars are heating up on Capitol Hill as September 30th marks the end of the fiscal year. But unlike in the past, it's not Democrats versus Republicans fighting this time. We're watching as House conservatives just shut down over impeachment and Senate Republicans push back. The Pentagon has opened a new UFO office, and it is already sending some weird signals of life out there. Check out our report on the so-called experts finding evidence of alien life in the military's photos. Liberty Safes, which gun owners and retailers use to store their weapons, is facing a backlash after it coughed up combination numbers to federal authorities investigating a January 6 case. And when it comes to the NFL's most annoying fan base, is it a surprise that Dallas is number one? We've got the full list for you as the season kicks off this week. For stories like these and more updates all day long from your favorite news outlets, go to offthepress.com.
America's Voice Live, America's fastest growing news program. With Steve Gruber.
You've got to put America first. You do that by voting and bringing your friends to do the same.
Delivering the latest news, observations, and opinions. With the entire Real America's Voice team, America's Voice Live starts now.
Welcome to America's Voice Live. I'm Steve Gruber. Today is Friday, thankfully, September the 8th. Let's get today's top stories, and thank you for being here today. It turns out that far-left Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis may be less crazy than the grand jury. Whoa. The New York Post has obtained a 28-page report revealing that the grand jury recommended Willis indict 21 more individuals, including sitting senators. Gerard Felitti of the Lawfare Project will have that story. Also, Jim Jordan is looking into one of Smith's top deputies that pressured Trump valet Walt Nauta to cooperate by threatening charges over conflicting testimony. And then later, the online job search company Indeed is now offering transgender identifying employees $10,000. $10,000 to relocate to a state where they or their immediate family can receive gender-affirming care. Anthony Watson of Turning Point USA will join me for that story. Wow. But first, I have to talk about something very important. We are at war. America is under fire and under siege, not by China or Russia or any other country. No, we are under attack from radical leftists that have totally infiltrated the administration of the senile Joe Biden and flooded into places of influence and power. And simply put, they do not care about you. They care about one thing, carrying out their agenda, which is not America first, I can tell you that. How about this report, breaking just a bit earlier today, which shows the Fulton County, Georgia grand jury recommended even more charges against politicians, all Republicans, of course, including Senator Lindsey Graham, Michael Flynn, and former Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. I mean, when are Republicans in Congress going to wake up and figure out that once these people know they can go after Trump without much of a fight at all, they'll go after all of them soon? And obviously, it's not just sitting Republicans they're after. What they're trying to instill is fear with the J6 arrest. That is telling you that you better not come out and protest anything Democrats do or support, because if you do, you'll wind up in jail. If you want to protest Republicans or allege systemic racism or the evil idea of working electricity, well, that's fine. Go for it. And if you want to run for office, you better not do it as a Republican, because if you do, the DOJ might just be beating down your door, waiting to charge you for something, anything they can think of. But if Democrats do the exact same thing, like, I don't know, have classified documents in their possession, well, that's different. That's just different, and it's totally fine. Just look at what they're doing every single day. I mean it. It's clear. They are intent on destroying America once and for all. It's obvious. Trust me when I say watch what they do. And it seems quite clear and likely that it is Barack Obama and his minions that are just out of sight behind the curtain and pulling the strings to make their puppets dance. They have the connections, the money, and the influence to keep the hacks in D.C. doing their bidding. I mean, when you hear me say this seems a lot like Barack Obama's third term, there is a reason for that. And the federal government obviously feels much too emboldened. They've been trampling on the average American's rights for years now, and they know they can get away with it. For example, Nathan Hughes had his house raided this week, and he says his gun safe, a Liberty brand safe, had a master code that was given to the FBI by the company. Listen to this insanity.
My name is Nathan Hughes, and I'm the guy at the center of this whole Liberty Safe controversy going on right now. As many of y'all know, last week I was raided by the FBI, and my house was searched over some January 6th allegations. I guess the FBI called Liberty Safes, and Liberty Safes gave them a master code to get into my gun safe. I didn't even know that was a thing. And, come home to see that my safe is open after I got out of jail. So pretty crazy. I didn't know safe companies would do that. So I feel like, a lot of our gun safes are not actually safe. So I just wanted to thank everybody for their support and just say, hey, I'm going to face these allegations head on.
By the way, Liberty Safe admits they did give the feds a master code, which is weird. Because first, who knew about such a thing like Nathan just said? But more importantly, Liberty Safes was facing no search warrant at all. They didn't have to turn over anything. They didn't have a search warrant. A one-time customer did. They had no right, none, to give that information away. None. Coming after all of us, mark my words, it's just a matter of time. But fortunately for us right now, and unfortunately for Joe Biden and whoever is pulling the strings, those strings are beginning to fray because they have gone to the well too many times, it seems. I mean, when they go after America's energy supply and gas prices rise, people don't like it. When they begin the fear-mongering over about, the 100th new variant of COVID and people see mask mandates for school kids and universities coming back, they don't like it. When they see people going to prison if they're Republicans and getting charges dropped if they're liberals or Democrats, we don't like it. I don't like it. When they know the border is wide open with millions of people streaming in that are being housed in places like Chicago's once famed O'Hare International Airport, they don't like that either. And when they see places like Maui and northern Florida struggling in the aftermath of real disasters, but we're doling out $200 billion to Ukraine, nobody likes it. And when have they seen enough? When have they seen enough? When they do, they get angry. Because when they see America being put last instead of America first over and over again, they've had it. And they really, really don't like it. And right now, the polls are showing how much we don't like Joe Biden. The people behind the curtain, the bureaucrats, the lobbyists, and the globalists, all trying to get an upper hand over you and me. The polls? Listen.
In our politics lead moments from now, President Joe Biden will get on Air Force One and fly to India for Saturday's G20 summit. And one thing that is sure to follow him there, the stark reality that his reelection is anything but guaranteed, as evidenced by a brand new CNN poll out today. Biden's approval rating stands at 39%. Jimmy Carter, a one-term president, is the only other president who had a worse approval rating at this point in his presidency. This, of course, could reopen the Oval Office door to the current Republican frontrunner Donald Trump, as we're finding no clear leader in a hypothetical matchup between President Biden and a man who could be a convicted felon by Election Day. 46% of voters, in fact, say they would take literally any Republican over Biden. And the big question, has Biden lost the locker room? 67% of Democrats say they would prefer a different Democratic nominee.
Has he lost the locker room, or he would get lost in a locker room? You figure that one out. In fact, here's another one that really sets people off, all right? Tying money intended to help Americans with disaster relief, but instead of just going ahead with it and saying, okay, Maui, you need some disaster relief, Florida, you need some disaster relief. Instead of just going ahead with it, Joe and the socialists play games to get more money for their favorite foreign country first and refusing to help out our own neighbors without strings attached. It is outrageous. Listen to this.
Is the administration willing to separate these requests and seek the FEMA disaster aid independently to ensure it gets to the hurricane victims and Hawaii wildfire victims as quickly as possible? Or do you see that these things have to be grouped together for the requests?
So look, I've been asked this question multiple times over the last, 10 days about your specific question about this, the supplemental funding for Ukraine and also what has been requested by FEMA, which is the $16 billion. Look, we see them both as incredibly important. I just laid out at the top what we saw happen in Ukraine. 16 civilians died. We are going to see the president go to the G20 talking about our commitment for Ukraine and making sure that the people of Ukraine who are bravely fighting for their sovereignty, for their democracy, has what they need to fight against Russia's aggression. We have been very clear about that. We believe that has been done in a bipartisan way, and we have said we appreciate the bipartisanship that has come out of Congress in getting this done.
Yeah, whatever. Which leads me to even more people becoming angry. And let me be perfectly clear, this is becoming a bipartisan issue because people on both sides of the aisle, plus independents, agnostics, libertarians, and otherwise unaffiliated political refugees are all rejecting the laundry list of failures. And then figure in the scandals that they try to deny exist, but everyone clearly knows certainly do. And you get more polling, more bad news for Joe Biden, and the spreading scandals involving Hunter are now seeing Joe's numbers even lower, 39% there. And Americans believe he's committed criminal acts. They're not going to get better. Listen to this.
We're talking about, Dana, here, the time when he was vice president, right? Whether Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's business dealings at the time he served as vice president. Overall, if you look here, 61% of Americans think Joe Biden was involved. You can see partisanship drives this, right? Obviously, nearly all Republicans, 90%, believe that. This has been a major storyline and talking point on Fox News and elsewhere. 64% of independents believe that Biden was involved in Hunter's business dealings. 28% of Democrats. And I want to show you, of that 61% overall there that believe he had dealings, 42%, Dana, think that Joe Biden acted illegally when he was vice president in those business dealings. 38% say not involved. 18% said he acted unethically, but not illegally. But that is a significant number as well.
So you keep digging. You keep hoping that there's a number in here that Joe Biden's done something well if you're a Democrat, right? There's got to be something, but it doesn't get any better the deeper you dig. The worse it gets, in fact. And Joe Biden continues to sink. And like I just said, he is not coming back. Not now, not ever. Here's one more taste of new polls. Listen.
And when you look here about President Biden now serving as president, his actions in the Hunter Biden probe, have they been appropriate or not? 55% of Americans, a majority, believe Biden's actions related to the Hunter Biden probe inappropriate. 24% of Democrats, again, a majority of independents, 52%, and nearly all Republicans at 90% believe that. And this is to show what happens when you don't push back at all, which is really basically what the White House has been doing. There's not been a Hunter Biden defense kind of mounted in a public relations way, and it's starting to seep through beyond just the right-wing echo chamber we're seeing.
And just so you don't miss this point, that's a CNN poll. You know, the lapdog media poll. So what does it mean? As Hunter Biden's once-in-a-lifetime sweetheart deal has now faded into a distant, foggy memory, something his dad's ever more familiar with, or is he not familiar with it? I'll think on that one, get back to you. Either way, nothing is helping, and the ship is listing badly. And it seems the media is catching out of the polls, too, like CNN there. They see their propaganda for Biden is not working like they thought it would, like it used to, leading to people to say things like this.
The DOJ has given me whiplash on this one because 6 weeks ago they did walk into court and they were ready to get rid of this case for a misdemeanor and dismissed the gun charge. Now they're about to indict him for a felony gun charge, which would likely carry jail time if there's a conviction. The only conclusion that I think is consistent with all this is that the whistleblowers were right, that initially DOJ was ready to go in there and give this deal away cheaply. And when the political pressure amped up, DOJ did a complete 180. And now they've made David Weiss special counsel, and now they're bringing an indictment.
What? The whistleblowers were right? You don't say. You mean those people came in and told the truth about these sleazy deals and the scandals and the scams and the swindling? Really? You're damn right. And some of the issues have become so bad that Democrats are turning on the geezer as well. I mean, the border has Democrats in New York City and Massachusetts declaring states of emergency because they've been overwhelmed. And Joe, he just goes back to sleep. 2 scoops. So what are the Democrats banking on for 2024? Well, it seems that a COVID pandemic is what they need around here. So they're relaunching COVID 3.0. And I'm sure that will make everyone happy, right? How about the idea that kids will be forced to wear masks in schools again? It is simply outrageous, but the CDC ignores science and just rolls over people. And the whole gaggle of mindless COVID fearmongers who really want the pandemic back just play along. Except that the masks and the vaccines didn't work the first time. The ones they're still claiming do, of course. It's all a war on you, my friends. They tell you things that are simply not true. They're trying to stop you from protesting their lies by putting people in jail and frightening you into shutting your mouth. And they're trying to put your elected officials in jail too, because if you like them, they don't like them, and you're a suspect. It all started with a soft coup the deep state the Democrats launched against President Trump back in 2016. And it's all coming to a head for the 2024 election. Buckle up, Buttercup. More big bumps ahead, but you know what? I can take it, and I'll stand in here the whole time. If you'll do the same, just hang with me. We're going to get through this, all right? Deal. Coming up after the break, a recent grand jury report from Fulton County that we just talked about recommended charges against Senator Lindsey Graham and former Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, among others. Gerard Felitti will be with me next to discuss it. Don't go anywhere. This is America's Voice Live.
This is Marianne's first time visiting Paris.
Où allez-vous?
Before Marianne packed bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, she downloaded Babbel. So when it came time to tell a cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre.
Oh, c'est très bien.
Babbel focuses on natural conversation, so you can speak and pronounce with confidence.
Language lessons for every summer adventure. Get 55% off for a limited time at babbel.com/TV.
This is it. The culmination of everything our young athlete has worked for these past months. He's filled with determination. You can see it in his face. Is today the day he overcomes? And here we go. There is no defense in the world that will keep him at bay. He's on fire. Nothing can stop him. Watch him as he heads towards the goal. Oh, he's rock hard, but that doesn't stop him. He's a warrior. He's back up. His eyes are on the goal. He's set up for the shot. He shoots. Goal!
Achieving goals like this is only possible with the monthly support of people just like you.
Please call the number on your screen right now and give your monthly support to Shriners Hospitals for Children so other children can reach their goals too.
If you give just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we will send you your very own Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of the love you're giving us. Because of monthly support of people like you, nothing is stopping me from achieving my goals.
And here we go. There is no defense in the world that will keep him at bay. He's going left. Oh, he fakes right and continues. Look at those moves. He takes the shot. Goal! Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, call again or go to loveshriners.org to give right away. Your monthly gift helps kids achieve their goals. Goal!
All right, continuing now on this Friday, according to a special grand jury report released just earlier today from Fulton County, Georgia, the jury members of that grand jury recommended charges that ended in an indictment for Donald Trump and 18 others. It also recommended charges against South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham and former Georgia GOP Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Fulton County DA, the office opted out of charging those three who have denied any wrongdoing related to the investigation. Graham was investigated for his phone calls with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and Perdue and Loeffler were investigated for a meeting with Governor Brian Kemp, in which they allegedly asked him to convene a special session to investigate the election of 2020. And 2021, theirs too. Joining us live now to discuss it all, Senior Counsel for the Lawfare Project, Gerard Filitti. Gerard, I kind of really am disappointed. I'm not going to kid you. I wish they had gone after Lindsey Graham and Loeffler and Perdue, because it just shows how absurd this whole thing is. Remember the insane little foreman for that grand jury and how she was, I just wish I could get Donald Trump. It's like, wow, she's the one that pulled all of this off, isn't she?
Well, if I remember correctly, she was a practicing witch as well. So that explains how some of these people came under her spell. It's not surprising that the grand jury decided to, voted to indict, but the prosecutor did not, because the grand jury was much more split on Lindsey Graham and Perdue than they were on any other defendant. Donald Trump, pretty much all of the grand jurors wanted to find cause to indict him. But when it came to these others, there was not that clarity. So the prosecutor knows she's going to have a much harder time making her case, which is why she didn't actually file charges. She's smart, but it's also showing that, she is making choices, she is being tactical, and she's picking and choosing who she goes after.
So doesn't this, however, undermine any credibility that grand jury had? We were told by one babbling talking head after another that it's the Georgia case that's more serious than the rest. It's the Georgia case. This makes the Georgia case look very unserious to me and millions of others. Where am I wrong?
Well, I don't think you're wrong. I think we were told it was the more serious case. And you know what? For a while, I believed it might be more serious until we actually saw what the charges are. And what makes it not serious isn't just the willy-nilly way that they go after Trump. It's there's nothing substantive there. Look at the indictment. Compare this to the indictment in Florida, where you're actually putting out some sort of evidence or you're making some claims that Trump had a conversation with a person in which he said X, Y, and Z. You don't see that in Georgia. You just see the mere allegation that a phone call took place or that a meeting took place. And that is nowhere near as strong as what a lot of people expected. It's just making a lawsuit, making a criminal complaint out of two people meeting or having a phone conversation, which very well could have been legitimate course of business.
How could it possibly be a violation of any law if you pick up the phone and you call somebody and say, hey, you're in a position here where you can check something out? Can you convene an investigation of the elections of 2020 and then the special election of January 2021? What's wrong with that? Where is there anything wrong in any of that? How can we criminalize political speech, the most protected form of speech in America from day one? It is so beyond the pale that we allow this to happen. But here's the other thing that bothers me, Gerard. I don't see Republicans doing doodly squat. I mean, Lindsey Graham, he talks out of one side of his mouth and then the other. Maybe this can make him talk straightforward to the people and say, look, this has gone too far. Maybe this will wake him up a little bit, right? And others too. Because look, when they're done going after these folks, they're coming after you. Who misses that point?
So here's the point, going back to one of the things you said. The president of the United States, as most of us remember from civics back when they taught that, he's the chief law enforcement officer in this country. The FBI, all these agencies, they are under the executive branch that the president is in charge of. So who else is there but the president to say, I want to investigate potential fraud or potential crime or an election malfeasance? That is the person you would expect to be making this inquiry and this call. That's his job. And now we're trying to criminalize that because someone believes that he didn't win the election and he's trying to steal it. That's the outrage here. You have the chief law enforcement officer of this country investigating potential crimes and being charged with a crime himself. Now, as for Lindsey Graham and everyone else, it doesn't matter where you stand on Donald Trump. It doesn't matter if you like him, you don't like him, you're going to vote for him or not. Everyone has to see that the Democrats are criminalizing legal conduct, that they're using the Justice Department to go after their political opponents, and that's something that you cannot abide by no matter who you're going to vote for next year.
That's exactly right. And that's why it is galling to me, shocking to me in some ways, but surprising not. There's not a single Democrat standing up and saying, look, this is wrong. You know, you've got your Dershowitzes and people like that, but not elected Democrats. People that are holding high office saying, you know what, this is too far. Going after Lindsey Graham, that's wrong. Going after two former senators, potentially, that's wrong. The charges were recommended, and that should tell Democrats, sitting Democrats, honest Democrats, if you could find one in the wild, that this is all wrong. I'll give you the last word.
The Democratic Party has moved so far to the left that we don't have those honorable representatives anymore. It's all so progressive and so woke that they're using lawfare against all their political opponents. And that's the danger. That's what we need to wake up to. This is not a nice, articulate battle. This is a party that's going full force after their political enemies. And if they're doing this to the former president of the United States, they can and they will do this to you, me, anyone else. And that's the biggest danger of all.
That's exactly right. They've got to have somebody to grind up in their little machine, as it were. At any rate, thank you for being here as always, Gerard. Greatly appreciate it.
No, thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right. After the break, Jack Smith might be abusing his power. I know you're stunned. And the House Judiciary Committee is now investigating it. Will it go anywhere? We'll take a deeper dive straight ahead on AVL.
Your dinner party was a hit. Your dishwasher took a hit. Your teen is giving laundry a try. Your dryer left you hung out to dry. Date night with the crush. Your toilet won't flush. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered appliances and home systems. You stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Visit ahs.com and get a free quote today.
My employees and I are excited to announce it's our 20th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with the most amazing cotton, 2-inch pipe gusset, comes in 4 custom loft levels, and it's machine washable and dryable.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. That's why we've been around for 20 years, because MyPillow works.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, only $19.98.
With my 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
U.S. Marine Harry Blaylock trained at Camp Lejeune before serving in the Vietnam War and received a Purple Heart for his combat wounds. Now Harry is fighting for veterans and their families.
I'm Attorney Harry Blaylock. I drank and bathed in that toxic water at Camp Lejeune, and I want to hear your story. If you were poisoned by that toxic water, let us help you get the money you deserve.
Call 1-800-458-8282. That's 1-800-458-8282.
Do you take vitamins? A study found little evidence they help, but people who eat 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day are healthier. That's why I take Field of Greens. Each fruit and vegetable supports my heart, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism for energy and weight loss. And at your next checkup, Field of Greens promises your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back.
Get 15% off and free rush shipping at fieldofgreens.com. Product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Money back terms and conditions apply.
The House Judiciary Committee is launching an inquiry into alleged prosecutorial abuses from special counsel Jack Smith's office. I know you're stunned. A letter from committee chair Jim Jordan states the following concerns: that one of his top deputies, Jay Bratt, improperly pressured Trump valet Walt Nauta to cooperate by threatening charges over conflicting testimony and mentioning to Nauta's attorney, Stanley Woodward, that he knew about Woodward's pending judicial application. You want to be a judge? You do as you're told. Jordan has asked Smith to provide any documentation of any communication that may have transpired between Bratt and Woodward concerning his client, Walt Nauta, no later than September the 21st. We'll see how that plays out. Donald Trump may follow in the footsteps of his former chief of staff and attempt to move his case in Fulton County, Georgia, to the federal courts. He's notified the court that he may be doing so, likely under the argument that any actions he's being accused of in the indictment would have been committed during his federal employment. He has not yet formally filed a notice of removal, unlike Meadows, who has. He has 30 days from the date of arraignment, August 31, to file a formal notice of removal. By waiting to file, Trump's team might have the opportunity to observe how Judge Stephen Jones oversees Meadows and other bids for the same maneuver. All right, so if the subpoenas don't get answered, what happens? Well, for former Trump White House advisor Peter Navarro, he's been convicted of contempt of Congress on charges accusing him of refusing to cooperate with a congressional investigation into the events of January the 6th. Prosecutors say that Navarro believed he was above the law by defying a subpoena for documents and a deposition from the House J6 committee. He's now been charged with 2 misdemeanor counts, both punishable by up to a year in jail. Again, Republicans get treated this way. Democrats, yeah, a little differently. North Korea now reportedly considering an arms deal agreement with Russia, as President Biden's national security advisor Jake Sullivan warns North Korea that if it goes through with it, it will pay the price in the international community, whatever that means. Russia, meanwhile, has promised a vague escalation in tensions with the United States if the U.S. stations any nuclear weaponry in England. Although no official statement has been released detailing that plan, the U.S. Air Force has earmarked $50 million for military housing in the UK, described in language that's typically related to its nuclear arsenal. And Russian state media is calling for Russia to use its nukes against the U.S., which the country has not been silent about harboring. Just last month, Vladimir Putin said he intends on finishing a nuclear weapons storage facility in Belarus, but he wants to complain about the UK. Go figure. We'll get back to the news after this quick break and a message from our sponsor, Birch Gold. Vladimir Putin called the U.S. dollar's drop in dominance objective and irreversible during the recent BRICS summit in South Africa. Also there, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And they formally agreed to use local currencies instead of the U.S. dollar. It's the first shoe to drop. As demand for the dollar weakens, the buying power of the dollar weakens. That is why Birch Gold Group is busier than ever. Investors and savers are looking to harness the power of physical gold held in a tax-sheltered IRA. Text America to 989898 for your free information kit on gold. There are thousands of satisfied customers. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews. You can count on Birch Gold to help you navigate transitioning an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. As the U.S. dollar continues to receive pressure from foreign countries, digital currency, and central banks alike, arm yourself with information on how to protect your savings. Text America. Don't wait. Text America to 989898 right now to claim your free information kit. What are you waiting for? Up after the break, an online job search company is offering transgender employees $10,000 to relocate to a state with gender-affirming care. We'll talk with Anthony Watson on this. It's next on America's Voice Live.
The horrible events of September 11th continue to leave their mark on our nation, especially the brave who stepped forward to keep the rest of us safe at home.
We went over there because we didn't want that to happen again.
After September 11th, it was all about what can I do to protect my country. The role we played in finding Osama bin Laden, it was gratifying.
Many who have come back home to this land they protected now need healing and recovery. They need your help, and they need Wounded Warrior Project.
An improvised explosive device just went off. 3 of us out of the 5 got seriously hurt.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you will provide free programs and services that can change a person's life forever.
I am grounded in profound gratitude. We pledged to serve our country, and now you're pledging to have our backs.
Please remember those whose brave service ensured we would never experience another day like 9/11. Call or go online with your gift of $19 a month, and we will send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket as a reminder of the difference your gifts are making.
After my injury, I was in those dark days for a long time, but Wounded Warrior Project helped me to be able to move forward. You're still a man, and you still be able to provide for your family.
Wounded Warrior Project, to me, means you're not going to be forgotten. I think we all should help those who have stepped forward so that we can live our lives free.
I'm going to need help for the rest of my life. Please continue to donate. It lets me know that my sacrifice wasn't in vain.
Please call or go online right now.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, founder, CEO, and inventor of LifeVac, a simple rescue device that could save a child's life in a choking emergency. All these people were saved with LifeVac.
He was turning blue, and it happened really fast. After several plunges of the device, a miracle.
As soon as I did that last pull, his eyes popped open, and he started gasping for air. Place, push, pull.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
Indeed. The online job search company is now offering transgender identifying employees $10,000 to relocate to a state where they or their immediate family can receive gender affirming care. The online job recruiting company launched the program July of 2023. It's open to all U.S.-based employees who live in a location where state laws or government-issued directives criminalize or restrict access to such medical care. Currently, several states' laws ban so-called gender-affirming care, certainly for minors, preventing medical providers from prescribing puberty blockers or hormone replacement therapy to kids under 18, and certainly not disfigurement. Indeed said that eligible employees will receive approval to relocate and a $10,000 flat rate benefit to support their relocation expenses. Not like it's enough to cover gas these days, but if it were. Joining me now with the details is Anthony Watson from Turning Point USA. Anthony, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Steve, always good to be on your show. Thank you for having me today.
Good to see you, my friend. It's okay. This is just an odd thing to me. Gender affirming care. This is what they think is going to make them a standout company, a stand-up member of the community. It is so polarizing, and states are banning the mutilation of children, kids under 18, either chemically or surgically. And this company apparently disagrees with that idea. Apparently, they think the kids should be able to do anything they want, anything they identify as. We don't let them sign contracts or drive cars or drink beer. But hey, if they want to carve up their genitals, that's perfectly fine. I'm sorry, what page did I miss?
You didn't miss any page. This is the classic live and let live and making amends and a way for people to literally mutilate themselves. And all of these things are irreversible. So the whole object of the company Indeed now making a way, they're really not doing anything, because you can give someone a flat base rate of $10,000 to go relocate. But I mean, like, that's just for relocation. That's for relocation to finding an apartment, like getting there, the moving expenses that it costs. But that doesn't cover any of the gender affirming care that they swear up and down that they're trying to help people get, because these things are irreversible, but they're also expensive. And for all of these things that are permanent and irreversible, that's why we're trying to fight so hard on our side to be like, this isn't normal, and this isn't something that people should be literally funding now to do, because you may think that you're helping people, but what you're really doing is putting them in more harm's way, trying to function medically in a way that their bodies were never naturally created to work. And it's only going to lead to more issues, because now, if after relocating, then it's going to be medical bill substantiations, then it's going to be rent and all these other things. And now having all these jobs now be forced to actually put all of these things in their contracts in these cities or in other places, now forcing people to comply to a lifestyle that doesn't work.
Permanent medical dependency. That's what it creates. Whether it's the chemicals or the surgery, it's permanent medical dependency. That's why the medical community, at least parts of it, are all for it. It's expensive, like you point out, Anthony. Therefore, hey, let's line them up. Let's get them all lined up and do it. But the takeaway is this. We see the detransitioners that don't get any play in the mainstream media. The people that have been through it said, this is terrible. Don't do this anymore. It destroys lives. And the suicide rates are higher and the complaints are higher. It doesn't help people the way they claim. It's flat out wrong. It's a lie, isn't it?
Well, of course it is, because for all these things to work, you have to make it a scientific thing. And for the left, for all of these years, they've been saying, believe and follow the science. But when you have these detransitioners that said, my mood swings, like it literally led me to depression. It led to higher rates of anxiety. It led me to more suicidal tendencies. They don't want to cover that because they're trying to promote this as the end all be all savior of everyone's gender dysphoria, when really all it is a generation of people that have now been groomed and trained to think that because they feel a certain way that now they have the means within them to now go and be that certain way. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. These surgeries are irreversible. Look at all the people who have detransitions that now have to be on more medications to literally sustain their bodies to function somewhat normally back to what they normally were before they went the full route of detransitioning, mutilating themselves as adults. And now as kids, when they're trying and their bones are trying to get into puberty and all of these other things come into adulthood, if that gets cut off, then it's more cryptic and it's definitely more deadly and unreversible to now try and fix these things. And the people who are laughing and soaking up all of these expenses and everything else is Big Pharma, because Big Pharma just says, oh yeah, we can do the process, and then once the process doesn't work, here are these other things to keep things the way that you're going.
Absolutely.
But don't it's going to work itself out, and it's just one big Ponzi scheme that people keep falling for time
ringing
to time.
the bell. Keep ringing the bell. That cash register bell. Just keep ding, 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 ding. Just keep the money flowing. Because here's the thing, Anthony. If I show up at my doctor's and say, listen, I present myself and I say, I identify as a one-armed man. I want you to take off my right arm. Want it amputated. They'd send you out the door. But if I want to be mutilated below the belt line, that's perfectly normal. I mean, seriously, people. These people need a grip. These people are insane. There's no other explanation for this, or sadistic, or evil, because they're willing to do this for money, for profit, to do all these horrible things to people that are confused and depressed and have a tremendous amount of anxiety. And after what they put us through for the pandemic, why wouldn't they have all those things? And so to make it better, they start mutilating them and giving them powerful chemicals. None of this makes any sense. I'll give you the last word.
The only thing that I can tell people in this is that the people who are literally behind the whole gender transitioning are big pharma companies that are supported by George Soros, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all of these people who have now worked with Klaus Schwab and all of these other elite billionaires that have said the world is too big, the world is getting too populated, and now if they can't force you to eat bugs, what's the next thing that they're going to do? They're going to raise an entire generation of millions of people that can't procreate, that can't sustain themselves on their own, and that don't add anything else to literally now wipe away a whole generation of people for the safety and for the sake of preserving space and food for a larger picture. So all of these people that are raking in these millions of dollars aren't doing anything to make the world better. They're making it worse.
Cricket paste. It's what's for dinner. Nah, kidding, Anthony. Hey, no cricket paste here, my friend. Hey, enjoy the weekend. You come back with more of your common sense anytime you want.
Thank you, Steve. Have a good weekend. Take care.
There you have it. Anthony Watson from Turning Point USA. Good stuff. All right, so after the break, COVID cases are rising just a little bit. What does it mean for the American people? Probably not much, but Dr. Jim Thorpe will be with me next to discuss it on America's Voice Live. It's an important conversation you do not want to miss.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my story. I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, or brittle bone disease. I have broken my bones almost 200 times, and I have had 11 surgeries. But I didn't let that stop me. I love to bike ride, climb, race, and I'm learning how to stand and walk. But I can only do all of this because of generous people like you and Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children has helped more than 1.3 million kids just like me, regardless of their family's ability to pay.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is only able to provide this world-class, life-changing medical care because of the generous gifts of people just like you.
Because of you, I can ride my bike. I can play basketball.
Because of people like you, I can run.
I can smile.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you go to loveshriners.org right now and give just 63 cents a day, you're helping kids just like me.
Like me.
Like me.
When you give today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me.
Your gift, no matter how small, can help a child today.
This is your moment to make a difference.
When you pick up your phone, I know you have it right there, and call to give. You're helping kids like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, please call again or give right away at loveshriners.org.
Your gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
This is Mary Ann's first time visiting Paris.
Où allez-vous?
Before Mary Ann packed her bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, she downloaded Babbel. So when it came time to tell a cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre.
Oh, c'est très bien.
Babbel focuses on natural conversation, so you can speak and pronounce with confidence.
Language lessons for every summer adventure. Get 55% off for a limited time at babbel.com/TV.
When you have nothing else, you have to come up with something new to try to convince the masses that they need to pay attention. So the Biden administration is claiming that COVID is back. It's stronger than ever, and the number of cases is once again on the rise. There is a new discussion on what this means for the rest of us. To me, it doesn't mean anything. I didn't even elevate my heartbeat by 1 beat per minute. We'll have another lockdown. Will there be yet another new vaccine pushed onto the public? Are masks going to be enforced and mandated in public spaces? Yes, yes, and yes. Democrats have their way. Many families are worried that government would potentially even limit access to critical drugs and necessary medications. While we might not have the answer to those questions quite yet, we do know that it is always important to stay prepared for whatever the government could send your way. Joining me now to discuss all of these concerns is the Chief of Maternal and Perinatal Medicine, Dr. Jim Thorpe, with the Wellness Company. Doctor, thank you for being here today. These are important questions. Look, the fear mongering, the fear pandering, the fear porn, if you will, it's getting ramped up again. You've got this new Pfizer vaccine allegedly coming out next week, which, by the way, has no efficacy at all. It's already been shown to show zero efficacy, so why would you take something that does nothing and has all sorts of dangerous side effects? Rand Paul's been sounding the alarm. So have you guys there at the Wellness Company. What's going on?
Well, what's going on, Steve? First of all, thank you very much for having me on the program, and it's an honor and privilege to be with you, and especially a fellow Michigander. But what's going on here is very clear. Let's make this clear. This is a complete repeat of 2019. You know, we're going into an election cycle. These are evil people. This is an evil administration. They are off the tracks. They're responsible for killing and injuring well north of 50 million people globally with this massive PSYOPs campaign rolling out the deadliest drug ever. And don't succumb to the fear. Do not succumb to the fear. They're lying, and they're actually making illegal false claims. I mean, I've never seen to have the Biden administration, the press secretary, and Biden himself come out and said, go get the vaccine because it's going to protect you from dying of this new variant. That's illegal. And, you know,
I want to, back during the height of the pandemic, I had a gentleman on the program here, and you may be familiar with him. He did all the groundbreaking research into zinc, and he was at Wayne State University. And I know you went to Wayne State down in Detroit. And he was in his 90s, and his wife, she was in her 90s. He never got vaccinated. When he realized he had COVID, he got sick with it. They took up their amount of zinc, they upped the amount of some other things they were taking, and they went through it no problem. 93, 94 years old. The fact of the matter is, we didn't treat this illness when it was when people were sick. We waited for them to get more sick, and then sent them to the hospital and put them on mechanical ventilators. And the survival rate then was less than 10%. Those are the numbers, right? Those are the numbers. It was a death sentence. If you got on the ventilator, you were all done, right?
That's absolutely right. You know, and for those viewers, if you doubt anything that Steve is saying, go listen to the most qualified expert in the entire world, the most qualified person to lead the world out of this greatest catastrophic, colossal foobar in the history of medicine, it's Peter McCullough. Listen to Peter McCullough's first and second testimonies in front of the Texas State Senate. It's stunning. It is absolute stunning. But you're correct. The success rate of early treatment is well north of 95% now by the Zelenko protocol, by McCullough protocol. Dr. Ben Marble has treated over 300,000 patients with early treatment regimen using these safe medications. He's only lost 6 people. He's treated them all for free through myfreedoctor.com. And that's a 99.99% success rate. That's why they're responsible for killing a lot of people in the world. They illegally removed hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin when it was safe and effective.
Well, and I've told people this. Look, and I tell people this, they can say what they want, but I'm going to real quickly tell you my experience. I got terribly ill with COVID right after Christmas 2021. I called my doctor. I said, listen, I want ivermectin in the Z-Pack. And she argued with me, and I was pretty steamed. But an hour later, she called me. She said, fine, I'll do it. But the only place you can get it is in Ann Arbor. You'll have to drive an hour. And I said, fine, I'll do it. I was sick as a dog at 10 o'clock in the morning and getting worse. I took the ivermectin in the Z-Pack. And by sundown, by 6 p.m., 7 p.m. that night, I was almost symptom-free. By the next day, I was good to go. That's my experience with ivermectin and Z-Pack. I don't know if that's normal. That's my personal experience.
That's normal. That's a routine. And I want to make it very clear here. Listen, anybody in the healthcare system, in the hospital system, they're killing you. And they've taken money under the table. And they've likely signed what I call the covenant with death contract. And they've taken the healthcare system that fired me, SSM Health in St. Louis, as the CEO called me their model physician employee, most published. They fire me. Well, we find out they took $306 million. So they were beholden, and they were in a binding contract, most likely, with the federal government. And the federal government holds them to all of their employees to push the deathly narrative of the federal government, HHS and CDC. My wife is a brilliant attorney. She's a research assistant. We proved this by FOIA request earlier this year. Look at our publications on America Out Loud. Maggie Thorpe, AD, MACP. We published this together. We busted them. They got caught with their pants down. They got 1,400 pages, 50% redacted, and they took millions of dollars and they signed the covenant with death that to this very day, they're not allowed to deviate from that, or they'll have to pay all that money back.
So here's what I want people to do. If you're sitting here and you're listening to Dr. Thorpe, I want you to go to twc.health/RAV. Go look at what's there. Peter McCullough's testimony is there. There's a whole host of things to boost your immune system, to have emergency kits in case you get sick in your house. And not just from COVID, but from a variety of things. Just be prepared. Because I'm as paranoid as a Boy Scout. With the motto of be prepared. That's me, Dr. Thorpe. I mean, honestly, I'll give you the last word. We got about 30 seconds.
I can't tell you how important Wellness Company is in that emergency medical kit. Don't get one on Amazon. There's some other parallel healthcare systems like ours. They're equivalent. Ours are better and ours are less expensive and have more emergency drugs. Do not go buy that kit. I just got called 2 nights ago in the middle of the night by a friend in Cancun. Had nothing and couldn't get a hold of anything. Do not travel anywhere. Do not have your household without the emergency medical kits from the Wellness Company.
Good advice. twc.health/RAV. You can find stuff out right there. All right. Gotta go. Greatly appreciate it. Dr. Thorpe, thank you very much.
Go Blue.
Go Blue. I like that. And go Lions. Something I need to do or just go to break? All right, we're going to go to break here on AVL.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress top, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog bed.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of my brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you get our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.99. They truly are the best sheets ever. And with the biggest closeout special, we're clearing out our all-season My Slippers for only $25 and our sandals for just $19.50. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stair Lifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stair Lift, the world's leader in stair lifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stair Lifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stair Lift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stair Lift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stair Lift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-615-7313 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-615-7313.
Wounded Warrior Project helps post-9/11 veterans realize what's possible. With generous community support,
Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
we bring warriors together and empower them to become stronger inside and out.
It's possible to begin healing, to get the help you need,
to find peace. And as each warrior's needs evolve, so do we. Because these last 20 years are just the beginning.
Well, we always want to leave you with something good so you can believe in America, all right? So we start with something that makes America great today. A Cincinnati barber is giving back to his community one haircut at a time. Owner of Noble Barber and Beauty, Vernon Jackson, started giving free haircuts to children with special needs in 2021. After he had heard too many horror stories of barbers not having the patience with special needs kids, he wanted his shop to be a safe place for his kids to come and get their hair done. Loud scenes of barbershops oftentimes overstimulated these kids, so he started doing the haircuts on closed days so he could keep the environment calm and attentive to each kid. Jackson started a GoFundMe so people could sponsor haircuts for these children and help others become involved with gifting these kids too. Listen.
Here we go. Did you say go?
Yeah.
Go. Okay.
Go.
Hey, we finished.
How could you not like that? At the end of the day, what makes America so wonderful is the kind acts of generosity from Vernon, generous donations from the community that sponsor these haircuts. These kids gain confidence and connection, are able to turn something that is frightening to begin with to an enjoyable experience, in fact, good fun. Thank you, Vernon Jackson, for making America wonderful, one kind act and one haircut at a time. That's just great stuff there. We're just gonna leave the week right there. We've had a lot this week. There's been a lot of stress, and so we're leaving it right there. Positive note, big smile on your face. I hope saying, you know what? Some darn good people around here. You drop me a note anytime you want. SteveGruber.com, the place to do that. SteveGruber.com. Drop me a note. Say, hey, Grub, that's what we got going on. It's what we like, what we don't like. Here's a story for you. I appreciate it. I do. Be careful out there this weekend, but always remember how great America is. Don't forget that in your travels. All right. Now, I'll see you first thing Monday morning because we'll kick it off right here on RAV with the Steve Gruber Show, 6 a.m. like we do every day, Monday through Friday. I'll be back after the weekend, and then I'll join you right here for America's Voice Live, too. See you then.
Every detail counts.
That's why I live my life with Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose. I value quality, cutting-edge tech, and performance. When I began experiencing hearing loss, I knew I needed the best of the best. Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose are app-controlled and self-fitting, which means I can tune and customize them to my needs and preferences on the Lexi app and enjoy high-quality hearing. No appointment necessary. From ordering my first pair online to front door delivery and the secure, discreet fit, Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose offer quality, convenience, and exceptional customer support at every step in my journey. If you're ready to elevate to the next level with world-class hearing, take the lead and call or order online at lexihearing.com to receive your Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose today.
Call 800-461-5073 today to find out how you can get your Lexis at 80% less than prescription hearing aid prices.
Doctors are like you. Too much fast food, not enough exercise. And we don't have time for 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. That's why I take Field of Greens. Each fruit and vegetable supports my heart, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism for energy and weight loss. And at your next checkup, Field of Greens promises your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back.
Get 15% off and free rush shipping at fieldofgreens.com. Product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Money back terms and conditions apply.
Here are some of the headlines we are featuring today from your favorite news outlets at offthepress.com.